perfect, and nobody could ever understand why I was so unhappy. I came from a great family, I had a great education, I had, awards in all the subjects, and everything looked perfect, but I felt so disconnected. And I realized a long time ago that I was running for myself, but I didn't know what to do. When things got more and more out of control in my childhood, I started drinking, using, and I started drinking 18 years ago. But I struggled with cocaine for a really long time, and then crack was really hard to get off of. So was oxys, and I've dabbled in all the other drugs, but crystal meth got a hold of me like nothing else. And I felt like I was dying inside forever. And then so I went to my first 12-step rehab, which was a joke, and just taught me about drug education and detox and about AA. And I never connected in AA because I always had curiosity for there has to be something more. Maintaining my life and just going to a meeting every day or calling somebody, which I think breeds dependence rather than independence, was no good. And I snapped. They put me on more medication. I got worse, and then I relapsed again. And I felt miserable. And I disconnected even more from reality and my body and everybody and everything. And I knew I needed something bigger. I've done psychologist, psychiatrist, DBT, REBT, CBT, drug counseling, the 12-step programs. I've done EEG biofeedback. I mean, I've been on 9 medications at once. So the antipsychotics, antidepressants, anti-anxiety, ADHD pills, sleeping pills, and they made me worse. And they said, take this pill to counteract these symptoms. Now take this pill. And I was just a mess. And I've always wanted to go to a holistic place, but I didn't think there was anything out there that actually nailed all the different facets of recovery like I needed until I came here. I didn't have an exact idea of what I needed because I knew that everything else I had tried didn't work. But I knew I needed to go deeper because I only ever looked at the surface of everything. Why did I have abusive boyfriends? Why did I continue to relapse? And we would just kind of nitpick at my 20s and maybe my early teens. We didn't really go deeper than that. And I just knew that there was something seriously wrong and enmeshed and tangled up inside of me that I couldn't figure out. I don't really like that term, hitting bottom, because what does that even mean? First of all, bottom looks different for everybody, but my bottom just kept getting lower and lower and lower. What used to make me want to stop drugs in the beginning ceased to matter. And the more I lost, the less I cared. I went from living with my boyfriend on the beach, to being in a teardown, homeless and empty and dying. I'd been in the hospital 7 or 8 times in a month and a half for overdose that I was admitted for. I didn't care. The more that I kept coming closer to dying, the less I cared. I think my worst suffering wasn't all the things that have been done unto me. I mean, I've been raped, I've been abused, I've been beaten, I've been robbed, I've been humiliated. I mean, you name it, that sucks. But what the worst was when I became the very thing I despised the most. But I was always told by all the heads of the rehabs that if you, Melanie's example, if you work, it works. And I'd fall off really quickly. There was something that was just missing. So I came here to the sanctuary, and everything changed. Slowly and quickly at the same time. I became a different person. I became connected to my higher self, my true self, the woman that I now understand I am. Before, I was so mixed up with multiple personality disorders and all these crazy compartmentalizing of my life from all the trauma. I didn't know who the hell I was, and I thought I was garbage. And now I realize what a good person I am and how much love I have, not only for others, because that was easy before. It was love for my family or my good friends, but love for myself in a way I've never had before. Excitement about life, excitement and passion about the future. I actually feel I have a calling now. And it's not one of these superficial, I have to do this with my life. It's real. I can feel it in my core, in my gut. I feel peace of mind and sense of clarity and contentment that I've never felt before. And I actually have a relationship with my parents, which I never thought I would. It's amazing because I feel alive. I've never felt alive. I've felt like I was dead already, just like this something living in this flesh that I couldn't connect to. So this is the first place I've been to that has an understanding that every belief system that we develop, every emotion that we take on, every sick, twisted thought or fear is developed before the age of 7. And it's about what went on in our childhood. Where were we neglected, abandoned? Where did we not feel safe? Where were we told we weren't good enough? Or it could be from the simplest thing too, physical or sexual abuse. And it's all held the same depending on the individual. And here we actually talk about what went on as children. And I was able, through doing body work and seeing a psychologist and doing the energy work and eating right, everything, the whole holistic approach here to attacking all parts of the body and healing them, healing all parts of the body, allowed me to feel safe enough for the stuff to come up. So then the memory started resurfacing. And then I had an understanding of what went on. And then I had a newfound level of compassion for myself. I thought I was one sick, twisted fuck, like some sick, twisted animal. And I couldn't understand why there was so much hatred and venomous rage inside me. And now I understand where it comes from. And I feel no more rage or anger, just compassion for myself, love for myself. And I now connect with that little girl inside of me. Knowledge, and to give it to myself now, is so empowering. To know I don't need to call on a sponsor, I don't need to take a pill, I don't need to go eat myself to death or starve myself to death. I can just have a relationship with myself, by myself, and that's really empowering, and that's where it really begins. Because it's the first place I've ever come where I felt received and understood. And everybody who either works here or comes here as a client has an invested interest in everybody else on the property. It's hard to explain how much love and compassion and respect and nurturing and care, but also feedback. Everybody gives so much and receives so much in return. And it's the first place I've ever felt home. It's the first place I felt safe because I felt understood, because I felt loved and held and kicked in the ass when I needed it too. It's very caring and fun. Everybody here is fun and has a great sense of humor. And the most important part though about this program in general for me is how individualized it is. Because every other treatment I've been to, I was just a number on a piece of paper. You know, the nurses on the evening staff would hate me, and if I asked questions or if I needed something extra. And here, we have some community features. You know, we have the nutrition class, and we go to the gym together, and we have group therapy together, and we do share our meals. But the rest of our appointments are all individualized, and we don't even all see the same practitioners necessarily. We see who we need when we need to, and that keeps changing. And our whole program, like our personal programs, develop in time as we develop. And I know that Dean and Kelly, who make the schedules, are really in tune to what each client needs. And I've always wanted that, but never received it. In all of the treatments, they pigeonhole you and say, this is what you all need to do. And I never thought that made sense, because everybody's different. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, different traumas, have different needs, different mental situations, whatever the case may be. And the Sanctuary understands that. And really, the Sanctuary really pays attention to every client and sees what they need and delivers it immediately. And I think that's why everyone's so successful here. I am optimistic because I feel more clear-headed than I ever have before. I have a greater insight into what it is I want. I have a vision for my future, and even though I'm about to offset onto some hard times and go somewhere I don't want to be right away, it's a means to a beginning. I'm looking at doing what I need to do to get to where I want to be, and unlike in the past when I used to think, oh, this is so treacherous, I hate doing this, and I'd be miserable about it, I'm now looking for the gifts in it and seeing what can I learn and get the lessons from it. And I'm excited still to make that time pleasurable until, you know, the big miracle happens. And I'm optimistic because I have a great relationship with my parents, and I respect myself today. So I'm not going to let all that negative energy back into my life. I'm optimistic about all the new relationships I'm going to make out there with like-minded people, because before I didn't even know what my mind was, what it wanted. It would flip-flop, so I never felt connected. But now I'm connected to me. I can connect to other people, and that's exciting.